very warm hello and welcome to all our viewers of The Winning Post powered by the Serum Institute of India. I'm Chaiti Narula. All the action from the Mahalaxmi racecourse right here in Mumbai from the Wadia Gold Cup 2014 follows on the show. But before that, let's take a look at the headlines.
Starting the episode, we take a look at all the action from the Wadia Gold Cup race day at Mahalaxmi.
But Gr.II said that Mahalaxmi was a marshland. So the 225 acres, he wanted to turn it into a beautiful race course.
Moving south and over to Hyderabad, we bring you the major PK Mehra Super Mile and the Indian Turf Invitation Cup from Hyderabad Race Club.
Charging home, but it's all going to be Alaindair.
And finally, we catch up with the connections of wonder horse Alaindair as they take us through their journey.
I really thank God and I thank Alaindair. And really, it's been a God's grace to have him in our life. He's really turned our life around at 360 degrees.
Well, the Wadia Gold Cup 2014 this year promised to be a lot of excitement with all the beauty pageant, and of course this is dubbed as the family day at the turf as well. Let's take a look at this race round over 2,400 meters. This year saw 9 contenders in the fray and also highlight the Wadia's contribution to the sport of horse racing.
In 1878, a gentleman by the name of Gr.II Wadia made a gesture that gave birth to racing in the city of Mumbai. The gesture he made was to donate 225 acres of land in the heart of the city to the Royal Western India Turf Club to kickstart racing operations here. And it is in honor of this visionary and philanthropist that the Wadia Gold Cup race day is held at the Mahalaxmi racecourse.
Gr.II said that Mahalaxmi was a marshland. So the 225 acres, he wanted to turn it into a beautiful race course. So he took the architects to Melbourne and he came back here. He reclaimed the land and then he rebuilt the Mahalaxmi race course exactly on the lines of the Melbourne race course. So that, I think, is a visionary, a philanthropist and a great man, because he gave an interest-free loan to the racecourse to also build Mahalaxmi racecourse. So that was a great, great man. It's always a joy to do something at the racecourse, because nowhere in Bombay is there a location as beautiful as this, as natural as this. But this is a very difficult show to do because I'm dealing with 4-year-olds right up to 50-year-olds amongst my contestants. But the Little Miss and Master India and the Mrs. India has progressed through the years, and this is a wonderful place.
We've been associated, because of the obviously the building of the race course and afterwards the Wadia Gold Cup. I own horses as well, and yeah, I mean, it's just been a very long association and one which we want to continue. So.
A fashion show with children and adults alike kept the crowds enthralled. However, the event that everyone was looking forward to was the feature race of the day, the Gr.II the Wadia Gold Cup, a race open to thoroughbreds 4 years and older, run over a trip of 2,400 meters. This year's running saw a field of 9 thoroughbreds come into the parade ring. The man upon from Nosher Kama's yard was coming into the contest on the back of a second place finish in the Gr.II by Ramji Gigi Boy Eclipse Stakes of India on Feb 9th over 2,000 meters and enjoyed the favourite tag on account of that. The filly had run fourth in the Indian Oaks over 2,400 meters on Jan 18th, and with A. Sandesh on board this time around was looking at improving on that performance. The Imtiaz Seth-trained Kukinov, who had run third to Isn't She Special in the Indian Oaks, was coming into the contest on the back of a disappointing run in the McDowell signature Indian Derby, where she had finished at the back of the field and had Dashrath Singh partnering her this time around. Caesar star from Adviraj Singh Jodha's yard was coming into the contest on the back of a second place finish in the Homi Modi Trophy over 2,400 meters on February 20th. Kavraj Singh rode him for the occasion. Winner of this year's Stayers Cup, Astapi from Altamash Ahmed's yard, was coming into the contest looking at repeating the performance from Hyderabad, once again partnered by J.H. Christopher in the saddle. With the runners all locked and loaded, the starters set them off.
And off they go for the CN Wadia Gold Cup Gr.II. And on settling down, it's Roswell on the far side, just showing out from Caesar Star. Then there is Master Shifu. In between them is Falcon Ashtapi on the outside. Native Knight towards the inside rails, being tracked by Honors Pleasure, Kukinov. And about 2 lengths behind, there's To the Menabon as they go past the Hornbivelat corner at the 2,000 meters. Roswell takes it up there by about 3 lengths from Caesar Star. Running third is Master Shifu, then comes Native Knight. 3/4 on the inside rails is Falcon. Another length and a half behind as they pass the 1,800 meters is Honest Pleasure. Then comes Ashtapi, followed by Kukinov as they go past the 18. And about 3 lengths away there is To the Menabon as they go towards the mile marker. Roswell calling the tune, ahead by about length and a half now from Caesar Star. Master Shifu is in third, being tracked on the inside rails by Native Knight. Then comes Falcon together with Honest Pleasure. Another length and a half behind, there's Ashtapi, followed by Kukinov, and still about 2 lengths away To the Menabon as they go past the 1,400. Roswell still the leader by about 2 lengths from Caesar Star. Master Shifu on the outside. Towards the near side there is Native Knight. A further length and a half behind as they go past the 1,200 meter marker is Falcon. Then comes Honest Pleasure. Ashtapi third last, second last Kukinov. And about 2 lengths away, still in the rear, Menabon as they come to cross the 1,000 meters. No appreciable order in the placings as Roswell continues to lead this field by about length and a half to 2 from Caesar Star. Master Shifu is in third. Then there is Native Knight on the inside, being tracked by Falcon. Then comes Honest Pleasure. Ashtapi there as they go past the 800 meter marker and Kukinov and To the Menabon still in the rear as they come to negotiate the home turn at the 700. Roswell being tracked by, in the second place, Caesar Star. Then there's Master Shifu, followed by Falcon, Native Knight, Honest Pleasure, Ashtapi in that order as they swing round the corner and enter into the straight. They have a little over 400 to go in the CN Wadia Gold Cup Gr.II. Roswell there with Caesar Star on a tight train coming up on the outside. Then there's Honest Pleasure. On the inside is To the Menabon, and Kukinov coming with a dazzling run on the far side and takes up the running now. It's Kukinov from Caesar Star. Then there is on the inside Roswell, followed by To the Menabon, Falcon, Native Knight and the other runners. But into the last 100 meters and Kukinov going to pull it off now. Kukinov wins this one from fast finishing To the Menabon. Then there's Caesar Star, followed by Ashtapi.
Yes, I was so caught up with the CN Wadia preparations, I almost forgot to see the race and didn't pay any attention to it. But I think we are delighted to win this race. Maureen has been a great friend of mine for so many years, and finally we win a race. Well, she's always been just short of the top classic form, but she's been a top class filly. She ran third in the Mysore 1000 Guineas. She won the Coolmore Million in Pune. She ran a close third in the Indian Oaks. So she's been there, not been lucky enough to win. We intentionally decided to skip Hyderabad. She could have run the Stayers Cup, but I thought we rested her. I think the 5 weeks rest has done a good. The Indian Derby came too soon after the Oaks for her.
The presentation ceremony was followed by pageantry and glamour with the crowning of the Gladrags Mrs. India, Master India and Little Miss India, bringing the celebrations to a crescendo that had all the glitz, glamour and style associated with the races.
Kukinov, of course, winning the CN Wadia Gold Cup 2014 from To the Menabon and Caesar Star as well. With that, it's a good time now for us to take a short break right here on the winning post. On the other side, all the action from Hyderabad from the India Turf Invitation Cup follows. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us on the Winning Post powered by the Serum Institute of India, and welcome back from the Wadia Gold Cup 2014. Let's take a flight straight to Hyderabad. Last Saturday saw the running of the India Turf Invitation Cup, run over 2,400 meters. This year saw 16 contenders in the fray. Also on the same day was the major Mehra Super Mile. Let's take a look at all the action from Hyderabad.
After being postponed a full week, the major Mehra Super Mile and the Indian Turf Invitation Cup races had doubled the excitement, as everyone was eager to see if the weather-induced change to the track would affect the outcome of the race. A fresh card of 7 races was made for the day for the 2 important races, of which first up was the Group 1 major Mehra Super Mile.
Usha Stud Farm decided to take up the Super Mile and name it in the memory of my father, Major P.K. Mehra, Pradeep Mehra, who was one of the best in the breeders in the country and one of the top horsemen. And basically we've been associated with the race for the last, I think, almost 13 years now. And we've been sponsoring it and supporting the race. Basically, my father believed in speed. And the reason that we chose the Super Mile was because it was a mile race. It had both speed, classic speed, not just cheap speed, which is fast but not over a distance.
This year's renewal saw 12 runners come into the fray. However, all eyes were on the Usha Stud owned and bred miler Amelia, who was coming into the contest on the back of 2 consecutive wins, the Black Dog Trophy over 1200 meters on Indian Derby Day, and the Group 2, the Dr. S.C. Jain Sprinters Championship over 1200 meters on February 9th. The filly had run a disappointing 13th in the Indian 1000 guineas, finishing at the back, but if her recent form was anything to go by, she was definitely the top contender here, partnered by S. Zerwan in the saddle. Amelia's main contender here was Marinsky, who had taken home the Indian 1000 guineas and was coming into the contest on the back of a 4th place finish in the Group 1 Sprinters Cup over 1200 meters and enjoyed the maximum share of support from the markets on account of that. Trevor Patel partnered her for the occasion. The S. Padmanabhan trained equine lover was coming into the contest on the back of a 3rd place finish in the Mysore Race Club Trophy over 1600 meters in Bangalore and was looking at improving on that performance with David Allen on her back. The Suleiman Ataulahi trained striking was coming into the contest on the back of a 2nd place finish in the Group 3 North India Derby over 1600 meters on February 10th and was looking at going one better this time out with Suraj Jaredu on board. With the milers all in, the starter set them off.
With a blistering run, it's Equine Lover and Amelia down the centre, followed there by Machiavellianism, striking, finishing on the stand side. But it's Amelia from the fast finishing, striking on the stand side. But Amelia wins the Super Mile from a close finish there from striking. Then came Equine Lover.
Amelia was crowned Super Miler as she took home the Super Mile, making it 3 races on the trot. Equine Lover held the lead for most part of the race, but with 100 meters to go, Amelia came from the outside to cross the winning post a length ahead of Equine Lover, who was followed by Striking. Marinsky was 8th. Trainer Pacey Shroff was characteristically understated and played down the win.
Well, I would have liked to run her the sprinters, but I certainly didn't want to run her in both because she's not that robust, and I would be very careful of spacing out her racing. Having said that, she's a very brave-hearted filly, and Zerwan did a very good job of just guiding her and staying on the filly. His saddle had come forward onto her withers, so I think a lot of credit goes to Zerwan for the way he handled the situation.
With the Super Miler crowned, it was time for the other big race of the day, the Group 1 Indian Turf Invitation Cup over 2,400 meters.
Well, the invitation weekend is a completely new concept from this last year onwards. And now we have a weight for age race where all the best horses compete against each other over the different generations. So you get to know a top horse not just in this year, but over the last few years. This is a great, it's like the Breeders' Cup in America. And I think the importance of the invitation is the fact that you have older horses competing with younger horses of the classic crop, of the best. And I think that's what distinguishes it from, say, the other classics which are run of the same age group and not of different ages.
A large field of 16 came into the fray for this year's renewal. Winner of the McDowell Signature Indian Derby, Alaindair from Altamash Ahmed's yard, was coming into the contest enjoying a fair share of the market's support, once again partnered by Y.S. Srinath in the saddle, who had guided the 4-year-old home in the biggest race to be run on the Indian turf. Agostini, who had run 6th to Alaindair in the Indian Derby, was coming into the contest looking at improving on that performance. The colt had earlier won the Group 1 Bangalore Winter Derby and was ridden by Trevor Patel this time around. The LBR Deshmukh trained Tintinnabulation was coming into the contest on the back of a win in the Sri S. Ramakrishna Raju Memorial Cup over 2,400 meters and was looking at continuing that form with Imran Chisti on his back. Starry Eyes from Kuji Katrak's yard was coming into the contest looking at reversing the form on Alaindair, to whom she had run second in the Indian Derby, with A. Sandesh holding her reins. Alaindair's nemesis Mew Roy from S. Ganpati stable came into the contest enjoying the maximum share of support from the markets, even though he had run 4th to Alaindair in the Indian Derby. The colt had beaten him in the preceding 2,000 guineas, and this was to be the final showdown between the two, where one would emerge the champion. B. Shrikant was back in the saddle this time around. With the runners all in, the starter sent them away.
Circle of Bliss followed by Snowdrift, another length behind, 3 in a line. Turf Striker between the runners towards the fences, and Aqua Taste and Toro Loco on the outside. As they go over the rise with us, Isn't She Special in the lead by about a length and a half in front of Starry Eyes. Another 2 lengths behind being pushed is Southern Emperor. Handy 4th is Saurin towards the fences. Jeremiah now being joined and overtaken on the outside by Alaindair, followed by Saurin Rule. Racing next is Tintinnabulation, followed by Agostini, now being overtaken on the outside by Roses in Bloom as they start to negotiate the turn. Then comes Snowdrift, followed by Turf Striker being pushed hard. Circle of Bliss running out of gas as they turn in. They are homeward bound by about 400 meters more to run, with Starry Eyes take the charge from Isn't She Special. These two are fighting it out, followed by Alaindair. Then there is Tintinnabulation ridden out by another 2 lengths behind comes Agostini, but Alaindair in the hands of Srinath surges into the lead by about a length and a half in front of Tintinnabulation. Hard at work, followed by Agostini charging home, but it's all going to be Alaindair. Srinath rides a very impressive ride on Alaindair to take the Indian Turf Invitation Cup in a fine style.
As the runners turned for home, Starry Eyes took over from Isn't She Special, with Alaindair following a close third. With 200 to go, Alaindair surged ahead in the able hands of Y.S. Srinath and was followed home by Agostini and Tintinnabulation, with Starry Eyes coming 4th.
How is it winning the Indian Derby and then going on to win the invitation for you?
Well, this double it's like a dream double. You know, you have to, if you win the Indian Derby, you want to win the invitation as well. And he just established that he's the best 4-year-old in the country.
Alaindair catapulted himself to the League of Money 2 and Squanderer, scoring the treble of the Bangalore Summer Derby, the Indian Derby and the Turf Invitation Cup, and his connections were understandably overjoyed with their charge being crowned the champion.
Well, what a fabulous season this has been for all the connections of Alaindair. Indeed, a very special season, right from winning the Bangalore Summer Derby to going on and winning the McDowell Signature Indian Derby 2014 to taking the India Turf Invitation Cup home. Alaindair, of course, a wonder horse. On the other side, we will catch up with the connections of Alaindair and see how happy they are this season as well. Take a break on the Winning Post. Thanks for for staying with us on the Winning Post and welcome back. Now, we got a chance to catch up with the connections of Alaindair that won the India Turf Invitation Cup, the Indian Derby and of course the Bangalore Summer Derby as well. Rather pleased bunch of people is who we caught up with. We went to the stables. Take a look at the story. Well, back in Mumbai, indeed happy faces from the India Turf Invitation Cup 2014 from Hyderabad. At Altamash Ahmad stable are the connections of Alaindair sitting right here with me, Neville Devlaliwala, Gaurav Sethi and of course the trainer Altamash himself. Let's start off with you, Neville. Alaindair, such a wonder horse. How did you decide to buy this horse?
See, actually the horse was bought by Harp Racing. Altamash had selected the horses at the farm. Choice of 3 horses to be picked up from there, so he had chosen Alaindair was one of them. In due course, unfortunately, Amitabh Parekh happened to expire and all these horses came up for sale again. Right. Rather, the breeder wanted to put them up for sale. And he recommended this horse highly to us and we opted in.
How did the whole team come together? You, Neville and Altamash. How did you all decide that Altamash is the one who you all will be training your top horses with?
The only horses that I have are with Altamash. And the first time I met him, I was to meet like three trainers and decide who I would train with. The first time I met him and we just instantly connected, just felt the rapport going, found him completely sincere, hardworking, true to his job. And more importantly, I found a friend in him. So, it was just the comfort zone that got us going, and when he gave the opportunity for Alaindair, I had no reason to say no.
See, when I saw him at the farm, I really liked him. His pedigree is good, but the mare herself has not really thrown anything outstanding till now. But he was a lovely specimen at the farm. And unfortunately, when Mr. Amitabh Parekh expired in December, I already had the opportunity to train him for almost 8 months. So I did know that he had a lot of potential. And when the horses did come up for sale, he was amongst the other 2 that I was really desperate that didn't move out of the yard. Yes. So that's how this whole partnership and it all came together to get Alaindair, So it's been a lovely, it's like a fairy tale come true.
Ours is a very long friendship. It goes back a long, long time. I as an owner and he as a trainer started almost at the same time. I first started with one horse and then that's brought us a long, long, long way.
When you were training him initially, I believe it was a 6-furlong horse. You hadn't tried him over a longer trip to be able to stay the distance. At what point did you realize that I need to train him to stay the distance of 2400 meters?
You won't believe when I had asked Gaurav and Neville to buy a share in him, I thought that he would get maximum till a mile because as a youngster he showed me a lot of speed. And in fact, if you see his early part of his career, he has run all his races with tremendous speed and that's how he is. When he ran the Bangalore Colts in the summer season, the way he won the Colts, I knew he was always a very good horse, but my conviction was stamped in that race. And his manner of victory by almost 5.5, 6 lengths told me that no, this horse will definitely get a bit of ground and he's definitely going to stay. And the next step from there was the Bangalore Summer Derby. So from the Colts, we stepped him up to the Derby distance, which was 1.25 miles that time, and he got it very comfortably going start to finish on a very bad track with a penetrometer of 5.5. So I was convinced at that stage that this horse will definitely get the Indian Derby distance.
I do remember that because when I met you at the post position draw last year in Bangalore and I asked you, Altamash, what do you really like in this race? You said they all have to watch out for me. And that was some confidence, Altamash. What about Gaurav and Neville? Thoughts before the Bangalore Summer Derby? Did you think this horse will go ahead and give you that kind of performance?
Personally, I was very nervous. I mean, just super excited to be on the big stage. First horse, participating, so it's just like, as far as I'm concerned, I was completely nervous and didn't know what to expect.
I was quite confident about it. See, because if you're a good miler in Bangalore, to get the 2000 isn't a problem. Because it's a short straight, so a good miler gets the 2000 in Bangalore. The actual staying, this thing comes in when you take on tracks like Mumbai and Hyderabad, longer straights where actually the stamina comes into question. So Bangalore was never an issue, and I know he's a good horse. And when you have a good horse and he raced from the front and
after that came the Delton Casino's Indian 2000 Guineas, where it kind of showed a less than overwhelming performance, Altamash. If you even see the way Murroy beat him.
All due credit to Murroy. I think he was, unfortunately died. I think he was a top horse. There's no credit taken away from him. the way he won the 2000 guineas. But I was very, very upset after the Indian 2000 guineas because I thought my horse was never given a chance. The thing is, he came in the straight, and any good horse, the best of horses, cannot run a race like that, even though it's a mile. And he literally stopped in the final furlong. That's what made Gr.II look very, very comfortable. Sure. That's what made Gr.II look like an absolute champion. No doubt, he's a damn good horse. But it made him look much better than what he really is. And in case Alaindair would have had a proper chance in the race, it would have been a much closer race. I don't say Gr.II wouldn't have won or Alaindair would have definitely beaten him, but definitely it would have been a fabulous race to have watched.
What was really the preparation like after the Indian 2000 guineas got over? You wanted to obviously reverse the form for the Indian Derby. How was it dealing with that pressure?
No, actually there wasn't really any pressure because basically I trained him like a normal horse. I looked at the Indian Derby as a focus. We collectively decided, Neville, Gaurav and myself, we decided that we skip the Ruia because he's a very light frame horse. He doesn't take too much of racing. We skipped the Ruia, we gave him an easy mock race. We got Srinath down because basically I really wanted Srinath to get a feel of him, get to know the horse better before he rides him in the Derby. And I just trained him like any other normal horse for the Indian Derby. There was absolutely no pressure at all.
How confident were you all before the Indian Derby? Did you all ever think you all will go on to win the Indian Derby this year?
I think, again, I was confident deep inside, but the excitement overtook that, and I don't think I would, if you asked me on that day, I would have said that yes, I would have definitely won. But clearly Altamash and Neville were quite confident for a very good show. The only time I was confident was the 2000 guineas, and that didn't go down really well. So since then, I think staying nervous helps a lot for me. So I'm going to continue doing that always.
I won't agree with that because he had a new hairstyle, completely gelled and all. So he was really confident from inside that he's going to win the Derby. He may say whatever he wants.
No, I come prepared always. You go to war.
Yes.
You go to war with the hope of winning, right? Otherwise, there's no excitement in that.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the first Indian Derby win for you all. Your thoughts at that point of time, has it still sunk in that you all won the Indian Derby? It's been a while now.
I think now it has, the money's coming.
Altamash, how is it for you? Because you're one of the few trainers who at the age of 33 has won his first Indian Derby. I think you might be, I don't know if I'm wrong, be the youngest on the turf to win the Indian Derby.
Like I said, Jati, I'll never be able to put it in words. I'm living a dream with my eyes wide open, and I really thank God and I thank Alaindair. And really, it's been a God's grace to have him in our life. He's really turned our life around at 360 degrees. It's something that we're going to cherish for the rest of our lives. Racing careers, and every moment of it is going to be wonderful.
After the Indian Derby got over, you had the Invitation Cup to look forward to. I don't think the horses really worked at the Hyderabad track that much. So how did you make the horse race ready to go and race in Hyderabad from Bombay?
Basically, he's a horse who's run, I think he's an absolute champion and a great horse. I think he's run in Bangalore, he's run in Bombay, he's gone to Hyderabad and he's put in his best effort. So I don't really think the track matters, and the track in Hyderabad unfortunately was very, very difficult track because of the weather, climatic conditions, and the last minute change to the monsoon track. But I think he's just a horse who gallops on any surface. I don't think it really matters to him.
Absolutely, he's won in the total soft going in Bangalore, he's won on a slate like in Bombay, and then won again in Hyderabad, in a track that is absolutely not conducive for racing. But he raced there.
Say no horses for courses, I think he's horses for all
courses.
What is the next plan of action? It's the obvious question on everyone's mind.
Take it as it comes. We'll look at the Bangalore summer and stuff. Not decided as yet, but
as of now, we're just enjoying the moment, enjoying the win of the Indian Derby and the Invitation Cup. We haven't really decided what we're going to do with him next. But yeah, I think let's see how it goes.
So Gaurav and Neville, in terms of being owners, what is the plan of action now?
I'm thinking of retiring. When you achieved what you actually raced for, then that the zeal and the zest and the drive just kind of dissipates a little.
You're going nowhere, buddy.
We all say that, but none of us are going anywhere for sure.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen, once again for joining me on the winning post. All the best, and congratulations once again. All the best for all your races going forward as well. Thank you. that we have time for on this weekend's episode of The Winning Post, powered by the Serum Institute of India. Remember, if you've missed something, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and also on Twitter. Until the Team Winning Post sees you next week again. May the horse be with you.